Good afternoon everyone, I hope you're all well. I'm sorry about that. You caught me with my mic off for one because we've been doing lots of pre-records today, and you caught me in the middle of a sneeze, which is a nightmare, so I do apologise, so unprofessional of me. So welcome to the live studio today. I hope you're all well. It seems like ages since I've been in the studio, but it hasn't been. It's just that last time we were at TV. So if you haven't been to Stamps by Me studio before, welcome. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button. And if you are watching on Facebook, don't forget to pop a comment below. This lets us know that you're enjoying what we're doing, and it will give us the kick we need to carry on delivering. So all the inspiration in studios, not my own inspiration, it's just inspiration from the industry in general. We all share hints, tips, techniques, and the way that you can get those hints, tips and techniques are here and also on our Eureka fan page. So if you're not a fan or you haven't joined the group, I do encourage you to go do that, because that's where the design team help you out and customers post all their lovely makes. So in today's studio I am going to use some of the fabulous beautiful inside and out collection and our fabulous alcohol markers. So whilst I get ready, here's a little inspiration for you. So a couple of things I just needed to tell you about. We are on TV on Thursday with a new collection. So tomorrow at 1 o'clock I will be doing a Facebook Live showing you some of the stuff that is in the show. So 1 o'clock on Facebook tomorrow we'll be showing you the products that go live on Thursday on Create and Craft. I do believe it's 2 live hours on the Thursday. I would like to take a stab at the times, but it's been that busy today and chaotic it will probably be wrong. So I will let you all know on Facebook and via a newsletter. So looking down then, what we are going to do today is we're going to use our lovely Jessica stamp, because we've not coloured this one. We're going to use the large foliage background, which was also within this collection, and I'm going to show you how to get flowers to look white with colours of grey. So I have my grey collection in front of me, but if you've bought more than just the grey collection from our alcohol marker range, you will be able to use the other greys that are also within your collection as well, but I'm just going to stick to this one, keep it basic. And then I'm going to use Jessica, and we're going to give her a sparkly jumper today, so instead of colouring. Okay, so first of all I've got the large stamp, and I have got some super smooth white cardstock, because that's one of the rules if you are colouring with alcohol markers. Get yourself some super smooth white card, and I am going to stamp it in black, and I'm going to stamp it with this, and you're probably thinking, my goodness me, you are alcohol colouring, why are you using a VersaFine? The reason I'm using this is because I'm going to seal it with some of Claire's fabulous crystal clear new embossing powder. Now if you didn't see these last week when she was live on air, you need to go and watch the show. It was amazing. They are gorgeous, her metallic embossing powders, absolutely stunning. So go back and watch what she was up to, because it's probably all I'm going to use now. So I'm just giving this a good old colour up with some ink. Get a lot of ink on there if I can. And then I'm just going to stamp it out. Make sure I get lots of coverage on there. That's quite black, isn't it, already? That is a beautiful press, is that one. So I'm just going to do it one more time. And because it's a fast drying ink, I need to be quick with my embossing powder. So before I lift the lid, I'm just going to grab a carrier sheet. There we go, and just get rid of this and this. Pop it onto my carrier sheet. So when you put your powder on, it will dull your image slightly, don't worry about it. It comes back to life as soon as you add the heat gun. So you can see there, it's all nicely covered. And then just move this to one side. And get my gun hot. And as soon as it's hot enough, I'll pop it on, and then you'll see the black come back to life. And this will act as a little bit of a seal for you when we come to do our colouring. And this is a great technique if you are going to be watercolouring as well. But I just wanted this black to look like a shiny black rather than a matte black. So you'll see as the clear embossing powder melts, you get your true black come through. So if you did buy some of our alcohol markers to try them, make sure that you do your colour chart so you have a reference for what colours you use, which colours you put together well. There we go, can we see that there? So we've got a lovely shiny image now rather than a traditional matte one, which is lovely. So I'll just take this off the carrier sheet and pop it back on here. Just set that one aside. So before we do anything with that one, let's get all of our stamping out the way. So I'm just going to get Jessica. I'll just grab some more super smooth because that is what we are working on. We're colouring with our markers, so we need super smooth. So at least you get to see on this one a bit of hair, a bit of skin, and then we're going to do something different with a jumper. So, and because I'm not going to heat emboss Jessica, I'm going to just colour her. I need to use the correct ink pad, which is this one. So Memento is the one that you need for your alcohol colouring, alcohol ink colouring. Stamp her out a few times, make sure I get it as black as I possibly can. I think we'll go one more time. There we are, good to go. So if you come to colour Jessica now, what will happen is, albeit you've used the correct ink, you've used the correct card, she probably will still bleed. You just need to give it a second or two for the ink to evaporate because it will still smear. So just give it a second or two to dry, give it a waft or blast off with your gun, and then you'll be good to go. I've had a few people ask me about I'm using the correct ink and things like that, and it's still bleeding. You just got to give it a chance to dry. Okay, so shall we go, I know what to do first. Let's die cut Jessica. So within the packet, you get Jessica's outline and you get all the lovely sentiments on there. And then just pop the outline round. Make sure you secure it down with a little bit of low tack tape or something, just so it don't move. There we go. When you're happy you've got it in place. I'm not happy with that, it's too far over. Let's just move it slightly. Do you know why? There we go. Try again. So it's a 1mm border that goes around your image. And we'll go with, oh, I'm going to do it twice because I'm seeming to line it up at the bottom, but I'm not seeming to get the best line up at the top, so I'm going to do it twice. I don't want to cut her eyelashes off, so I'll hold that one there. There we go. So we'll just go around Jessica and run her through. We use our grey collection for the background. We use a brown collection for her hair, and we will use the scenic collection for her skin. But as I say, in the whole set, if you've got the big set as well, you have all the colours to do all of that as well. So here's the lovely Jessica look, there we go, beautiful as she is. Lovely little slouchy jumper on there. If you've seen some of the samples from this jumper, the lovely Barbara and Karen, they've all put lovely spots on her jumper, stripes on her jumper. So, you know, be a bit crazy with her if you want to. You don't have to do it just because it's a plain jumper there. So, because I'm going to be colouring, I need some paper underneath to pull that ink through so I don't get a flood. And I've just grabbed a piece of it now. Sorry, I'm just getting told a little bit of information there. Just won't be a second. I'm just popping some card underneath so we don't get the pooling on top. This is another one of the rules for alcohol marker colouring. It pulls the colour through so you don't get the flood on the actual image that you're trying to colour. So let's go with Jessica's skin first. So when I'm doing my colouring, I always put a reference down the side here so I know what I'm talking about basically, and it's a good reference for myself as well. So I do a scribble, now that's a darker shade, and then I write R139. Now you've got to give the ink a chance to evaporate. It always dries lighter. As soon as the alcohol evaporates, it will dry back way lighter. So give it a chance to evaporate, and then we have YR25, which I think are nice colours. YR25 Toni, like so. I think they're good enough to go. I think we'll stick with those. Now you could do darker skin if you wanted to. I don't think there is a right or wrong way. You go with what's right for you. Just try varying colours. You'll find something you like, I'm absolutely certain of it. And because we're using the two-stage colouring, which is only 2 pens, okay, this is going to give you instant light and shade with just 2 pens, and then what will happen is you'll find yourself that you have the courage to pick up that 3rd pen yourself. So if you can do it with 2 pens and enjoy it, then when you see a 3rd pen, you might introduce it yourself. It will just come naturally. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to use a brush nib. All I'm going to do is this colour is I'm just going to lay it all over her skin area in circle motion. So all over. Get some of that lovely flesh tone in her skin, right up to the nape of her hair. Get rid of all those white spaces, so all the way around. So get the ink on there, get some lovely coverage, and it'll when you first pop it down, you'll think, oh, it's quite liney, but it's because you're not giving it a chance to evaporate. So go and do another area and come back to it, and you'll probably find the lines have pretty much disappeared. So you're just seeing the lines disappear in front of your eyes there. So we've got our hand as well, so we will go and touch on that hand, like so. Now, there are a whole host of ways to use alcohol markers, and I'm not here to change something that you already do at home that works, okay? I'm here to just show you the way that I do it, the way that our design team do it, and the way that we get the best results. And I know that a lot of people are scared of alcohol marker colouring because it's normally 3, 4, 5 pens to get the shades. What we've done is we've stripped it right back and we've put 2 colours really close together. So you're not going to have to take that big leap and then try and have to blend them together. The 2 colours are that close together that you should naturally get a light and shade, okay? So the 2-stage colouring, that I don't know if anybody else does 2-stage colouring, but I'm calling it 2-stage colouring. Basically what that means, it's going to introduce you to 1, alcohol marker colouring, and 2, after time you will find yourself naturally going for a 3rd pen. Okay, we had our design team retreat this weekend, and a lot of the girls did say to me, I'm picking up a 3rd pen, I'm picking up a 3rd pen, and it just naturally happens. But that 3rd pen is scary, so we've introduced the 2-stage colouring, so you'll do that first. Once you do that, you'll then add that 3rd colour. Okay, so the second colour, is that the one I just used? No, R139, and this is a flesh. So all I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go where I think there would be a shadow. So there'd be a little shadow where a jumper sits on a back. There'd be a little shadow under a hair here, and that's probably about it. I'm not going to overdo it. I'm just going to go for it. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of colour under her hairline here, under that ear, round the front of her face, because her hair would naturally fall down there. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of colour round this jumper area here. Circle motion, little tiny circles. There we go. And it's drying, as you can see, it's drying practically away. And then I'm just going to revisit the first pen that we popped down, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend it in. So the line that I had there, I'm just going to absolutely go over and blend it. Now you don't have to go over all the dark, just where they meet, like so. And what will happen is, with the same colour, you won't get, when you're alcohol marker colouring, if you do the same colour on top, it won't get darker, okay? So you just need to basically go in and meet that colour and blend out that line, like so, and just let it evaporate. What will happen is you will end up with, can you see that there? We've got a lovely shadow around the back there, it's still evaporating, and then just the detail around her hair. Now if you want to go over the whole of this area again, don't be scared to do it. Nobody's going to jump out and bite you and say, hang on a minute, why are you colouring that area again? You know, it's your pen, you'll go back over if you want to go back over, and just enjoy them. And already you will have instant results. So you can see there, she's got that beautiful shadow across the top of the jumper and around the nape of the hair. Now if you had the courage, you could go back to the darker one if you want to. Sorry, that's not the darkest. And just spot in a little bit more, just to give a little bit more definition, and that will just come in time, you know. Do it a few times. See that there? I've just defined that shadow a little bit more on her shoulder. So I'm good with that, I'm pleased with that. I'm not a professional colourist, but I'm absolutely chuffed that I've got light and shade in there. So I'm just going to set this scenic one aside, and I'm just going to bring in the browns. So I'm just going to do a hair. So again, give yourself a reference. So pop the pens, do a swatch, and don't forget it evaporates. So when you pop it down, it dries really light. That's quite a dark colour. Let's try one of the lighter browns. That's dried back quite light, hasn't it? So oops, that cap came out there, shouldn't have come out. There we go, so that's a bit dark, so those two work together, don't they? Let's just pop that back in, and then let's try so you can see the leap is not massive, and that's why you'll be able to do it in 2 stages. I've purposely done that for you, ladies and gents, because it is scary. So let's try this one. And this is a great thing about the browns, you'll be able to get a plethora of different shades. So this one is BR91. BR95. I don't think there's much difference in those though. So let's go with BR91 to start. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to start where it would traditionally be darker. So where the lines are, it's a massive guidance as to what you should be doing. So I'm just going to bring the lines down like a feathering motion from the nape of a bun down, right from here. So I'm following those lines are there purposely to help you. And when you're doing it the opposite way, turn your artwork around and work from the base up, like so. So you're just doing a feathering motion from the base up. So all I'm doing is I'm following those lovely lines like so. I'm not being over careful with it. You could spend hours doing light and shade if you want to. There is no right and wrong way, as I've said. If you want to spend hours doing hair, you spend hours doing hair. It's there for you to enjoy. So as you can see, I've left like a white halo on there. So I'm going to revisit these ones now. Sorry, not revisit, go to these ones. So I'm going to bring that one out, take that one up, and bring this one down. And then take it up. And this one here. So I'm trying to leave a little white halo everywhere, and you will see why in a second. So go in the different directions of the hair, which it's telling me to do because the stamp is like that. As you can see that I'm already getting the light and shade with practically little to no effort. I'm just following those lines. So it's a feathering, so all you do is flick like so. So you put your flick up as if you're doing ticks in a school book. Flick from the bottom up, and you can do flicks as thick or as light and delicate as you wanted to. And this is the motion that I'm doing with Jessica's hair now. So all the way up. So then what you would do then is take your two-stage colouring. So let's go for, I don't think that one's quite dark enough. Let's go with, try this one. So I'll try this one. Like I say, if it's not dark enough, we'll go over with another colour. So this one's BR94. And I'm just going to start from the base again, but I'm not going to go as far up, sorry. I'm not going to go as far up as I did when I did the lighter colour. So exactly the same place, but not as far down. Now I don't think we're getting much definition on there, but I am going to persevere with it. Getting a little bit of light and shade, but I think we need to go darker. So a different colour or a different shade. But all the colours in the hair collection work together. So don't be scared to put one on top of the other. It will work. So just pop this one, make this one darker. So again, I'm just starting from the like root. Adding that detail down. Lots of little ticks following the line of the stamp. Like so. And you could even, if you wanted to create a little bit more dimension, you could go over with the black. And that's what the design team did at the weekend. I was like, I would not have the courage to do it in black, but it worked. They were like, oh my God, it works. So you can see that there, so she's getting thing. So then all I would do then is I would revisit the first colour that we started with. And this is not the first colour that we started with. This is the first colour that we started with, BR91. and then just go over the whole hair, well not all over the whole hair, but colouring the white areas in with the original colour. So I'm going to get them to connect. It will look dark when you first put it down, but it will evaporate. So I'm just connecting the hair. I am still following those lines. Make sure you follow the lines. So just don't go in the opposite direction. Can you see how you've got the light here and the dark here? I don't know if that's showing very well. I can never ever see. So if you did have the courage to step to the third pen, let me just grab one. So say for instance the black. I'm just going to do the black from the root up, as we did the first one, following those lovely lines. Not too heavy, but enough. So only where it would really be darker, so at the root. So I'm not doing it all. Like so. And then again, if you wanted to, where's my BR91? Could go back in with my BR91 and just connect them. So I'm not blending over the black because it'll just push it out way, but you know, let's connect them at the very least. So I'm just touching the black to connect back into the brown. I need to do this bit, don't I? This one strand of hair down here. And these bits here. Can we see how that black's giving it that little bit of a lift? And guess what? We've gone and missed her ear. So I'm just going to colour her ear in. She has a white ear at the moment. There we go. So let's just set these aside for a second. So you can see how she's got like darker roots across here, and it's a seamless blend, and she's got the halo of lighter brown underneath. So you know, it isn't difficult. Just start with the two colours to start with, have the courage to do those two, get that right, and then we'll move on to you'll just naturally pick up that third pen. I'm not going to teach you the third pen, you will actually do it yourself. So I have some wet glue here, and we're going to give Jessica a sparkly jumper. So all I'm doing is I'm popping the wet glue right up to that black line. Let's make Jessica's jumper a Christmas jumper, sparkly Christmas jumper, hey? So as you can see, I'm just colouring right up to the outline of the stamp. I still want to see the outline of my stamp. So this is just a normal white glue that dries clear. You will all have one in your stash, I'm certain of it. I'm being asked about the blending brushes as well. I'm trying to get them in stock quickly, but I can't promise. I am trying, and as soon as I have an update, I'll let you all know. I'm just absolutely still gobsmacked that they all went as quick as they did. But as soon as I know, I will let you know. So let's take it right up to Jessica's finger there. So just make a nice Christmas card if you wanted it to. I know it's a bit late now. Everybody should have the Christmas cards, she says. Looks actually like she's got a fluffy Christmas white jumper on there anyway, doesn't it? Whilst that's just wet, I'm just going to grab a red pen and I'm just going to colour her fingernail in, so she looks like she's got some nail varnish on. Attention to detail. So I'm going to use the Viennese Waltz from the Midas Mixed Media glitter, which is a super chunky glitter, and this is going to give her Christmas jumper. So I'm just going to chuck this all over her arm and her jumper. You end up with a super sparkly Christmas jumper on there. Just make sure it's all covered. Obviously the glitter, the glue dries clear. So, and then we have like a lovely sparkly. You want one of them for Christmas, don't you? Hey? I'm just going to set her aside, let her dry. I hope you like that one. I was going to go for the salsa, but I changed my mind at the last minute as always. So let's go and create our lovely background, which is this one. So let me just cut it out first, because I always find that images look a little bit overwhelming when they're sat on a piece of massive card. So I'm going to trim it down. It helps me concentrate a little bit more. So there we have our lovely image. So I have, let's just have a look, a top folding note card. I'm just going to make sure it fits, which it should, because yeah, that's it. Because I created it, it should fit. So let's move all of this out of the way. So let's show you what I mean. So I want to make these flowers look white. How do you make a flower look white? We don't have a white pen. Greys is the key. So where's my grey set? It's here, right in front of me. So I had a lovely email this morning off one of our lovely customers called Liz, I think it was Liz. I'm sorry if I've got that wrong. I hope she's watching now, about the colours and how pretty similar they were, and you know, the box didn't really reflect, which is this one, what was on the end. They do look a lot lighter on the packaging, but this is why I encourage you to do a swatch. Make sure you do your swatch, and again, because they're so close together, you're not going to get those blends wrong. They are going to work together. So I hope my email this morning, Liz, helped you out a little bit. So let's just grab a bit of scratch paper and I'll pop the lightest one down first. So to make a flower look white, you need to just add grey, a blue or a purple, but the palest of colours. So say for the centre of this flower here, if I add the grey here from the centre out, just in the feathering technique as we did, can we see that there? I don't know if that's too light. Just in there, can we see that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out light first, pop the light on, and I'm going to go from there with my colours. So I'm going to do a light in the centre of all of these flowers, just these ones, quite quickly, from the centre out. And this is how you get your lovely lilies to look white, you know, with the pink dots. So have we done all of those ones? Can we see that? Is it showing? Yep. I have to wait for the nod because I'm under such bright lights I can never see my work very clearly, unfortunately. So that's one shade. So let's have a look at a darker one. So I've got CG4 here. Now pop CG4 on top, just from the centre out a little bit. Can we see now? I'm getting a bit of a shadow in there, but I'm not going to overwhelm and put loads down. Just light flicking motion from the centre out. It evaporates, remember, so it will dry back a little bit lighter. You see that there? And then obviously the two-stage colouring, what I've said, and then you can go back in with your light one, just connect them. So already I'm getting like white flowers. And then from the outside you can bring them in. So you're creating a bit of a halo again, the white space in the centre. And the lines are there for you. If you follow the lines on the stamp, you're not going to go far wrong. Like so. So I'm getting some form of a flower that's looking a little bit white. And then, excuse me. So I've got a whole host. Today I'm predominantly focusing on the 6 collections because I know a lot of you have bought these. But obviously you have the greens, you have the greys in the bigger collections too. So let's do a little swatch here, see where we're going with all these lovely greens. I love green. So swatch it down first. YG59. That's too dark. So let's go the next one, YG175. But I do want some difference, that's too close. And this is a great thing about them. Do your swatch, pop them down. Just about to say that's near on black, but it's dried out pretty much. So let's go for the one that we thought. So, brush end. So with this green, I'm just going to put a cover of green. I'm just going to flick from the centre out, and I'm going to leave white space. It will make it look better. So straight from the centre out. I've got one there, I've got one going on here. And again, it's just that ticking motion. So straight from the centre out, out, out. I'm speed crafting here, but obviously if I was sat at home with it on my lap, I would take a lot more care and time to do it. But I just want you to understand the motion in your wrist, the flicking technique. I want you to understand that, you know, you don't need 3 and 4 pens in your hand if you don't want to, and basically just enjoy them. So you can see how you're getting like white, it's like a bit of a jungle theme going on. I don't really want to put any colour on here because it'll clash with a jumper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back in with that grey and just make these ones white as well. So I'm just going from the centre out, flicking motion, and I'm going to make them look white. So they're all tied in together. So just turn that around. So sometimes the flicking motion is a little bit easier if you just take your hand direct down rather than like side. So try both and see which works easier on your wrist. And then with these ones in here, all these little ones, I'll just pop a little bit of colour. And dry back to practically nothing anyway, so see how that one's practically dried to nothing. But that does look really, really cool for like a white lily or a jungly theme. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this card down a little bit because it's a little bit wide for the stamp. And we'll stick this one flat. I need to tidy my station, it's getting a little bit overwhelming. Just use our tape pen. Right, so we've got a beautiful background on there, and then with our lovely Jessica, I'm just going to pop some pads behind her. One, without sticking them to myself. And then I would pop a sentiment inside. In fact, let's just get rid of that awful white at the bottom of a body where we haven't gone right to the edge. Just to tie it all in. That's better, she'll sit nicer on my card now, can we see that there? I'm just going to pop her down at the base here. And there we have Jessica looking in a jungle. And I would pop a sentiment on there. So I would leave that be, absolutely leave it be. I wouldn't want to do bright colours because it'll probably clash with the Christmas jumper. So that's the end of today's studio. I hope you've enjoyed it. A little bit of hair, a little bit of skin, and swapping the jumper out for spots, stripes, glitter, whatever suits you as a crafter at home. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions about anything, skin, hair, the alcohol markers themselves, just pop on the Eureka fan page. The girls are there. They've all been trained on the Gossip alcohol markers, so that they are there for your help and guidance. So don't struggle at home thinking I can't do it, because we will help you through it and you will get through it. So I will be back with you on Wednesday at 4 o'clock with some more tutorials. Tomorrow I'll be with you with a Facebook Live at 1 o'clock to show you some products we're launching on Create and Craft on Thursday. So whatever you're doing, stay safe, stay cosy, and here's the last bit of inspiration before I go. See you later. Bye.